Okay, guys. So I finally have found a fix for the issue we've been having with the card types. I was really hoping that switching certain card types was going to be the fix, but it doesn't look like that is working. So I did a little digging online and I have a solution. Bear with me. It seems a little complicated at first, but I promise once you've done it a couple times, it'll make sense and it'll be easy to do in the future. So, first, I kind of wanted to explain why this is necessary. Um, so, I think that it's important to know what Anki is doing when you import a deck. So, Anki checks two things whenever you import cards. What it checks is the note ID, and this is a number that behind the scenes, every note is given that is unique to that note. Technically, it cannot be changed, but you'll see I found a workaround for this. So when you import a deck, if you have cards that have the same note ID, then the next thing that Anki checks is if the note card type is the same. So that's why I was hoping that changing the card types to the Anki overhaul for these two would fix the issue, because technically, if the card type is the same and the note type is the same, you should be able to import with no problem. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So this is just an example. So let's say that I made a deck, and in my deck I have this card, and the note ID is 100, and the card type is Onking Master. Let's say that Chris, for some reason, is importing this deck, and for some reason the card in his deck is the Onking Overhaul. So Anki is going to see note 100, note 100. It's going to know that these two cards are the same, but then when it gets to the second check, which is the card type, it sees that Chris has the Anking Overhaul and I have the Anking Master. So that's when you get this error that the card or the note could not be imported because the card type has changed. So that's the problem. And I have found a solution that I've tested and it actually works. So the solution is going to be to use the duplicate and reorder add-on. And I have listed out all of the steps, but what I'm going to do for the rest of the video is just go ahead and show you exactly what that looks like. So I have written instructions for how to add on how to add an add-on to Anki. If you have any issues with that, let me know. And there's also some YouTube videos, but I think it's pretty straightforward. So I'll go ahead and jump in to how to actually use the duplicate and reorder add-on. First thing you want to do, for whatever deck that you want to export, you do want to create a new deck. I know some of you guys just export off of tags, and that's fine, but for this to work, I think it's going to be easiest if you go ahead and create a deck, and you'll see why. You'll actually end up exporting by tag, but you'll see why. So once you've created your separate deck, you want to click on it. Next, you're going to click Browse. You're going to select all the notes. Go ahead and flag them. Go down to cards here, flag. Doesn't matter what color. I'll do purple. Okay, so this is on the note view, but I'm gonna switch it to cards so you can see that these are all flagged. And then this is where it gets a little weird, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna right click up here on the columns, and you wanna make sure that note modified, right click again, and created are selected. For whatever reason, this add-on only works if you sort by created. So once you've added created to your columns here, you're going to click created. So scroll back over here. So I have this little arrow that means I'm sorting by created. So now what I can do is select all again. Going to right click, scroll down to notes, and then now this duplicate feature. Before it would have been grayed out if I wasn't sorting by created, but now I'm sorting by created, so I can click duplicate. And voila, so I've now created duplicates. And you can see the reason we flagged them before is these are the original cards, but now I have duplicates that are identical, just not flagged. So I'm going to go over here now to note modified, and that is going to sort my cards pretty much based on when I modified them last. So that way I'm able to select all of my duplicates. Now it's really important that in this step that you select all the duplicates. That's going to be all the untagged cards. And you can do that on Mac by holding down Shift, clicking. So I clicked up at the top first, and then Shift click is a shortcut to just select what's in between the two clicks. So you can see I don't have any of these flagged cards selected. And then I'm going to click Control click to right click on a Mac, Notes, Export Notes. Don't be me and make sure you click Unselect Include Scheduling Information. And then from here you just export like normal. And done. Okay, so what you just did was you created a new note ID for all of these cards so that when someone else goes to import them, there won't be any issues at all. You'll be able to import them all directly. The only difference will be that you'll see that they're duplicated. So I'm going to go to my main user, and you can, I didn't mention, after you export them, so you're going to sort by notes modified. Got one up here, but most of them are all bunched together. You can go ahead and delete these because you don't need them. They're just duplicates to make a new node ID. Delete that one too. So there was one duplicate that wasn't with the others, so I guess just look out for that and make sure that you include that whenever you export. Okay, so let's say you're importing these cards. So I'm going to switch to my main profile. Okay, so I have all the block 1 cards in here. So I have all the molecules of life cards, but you'll see when I go to import the deck we just made, I'm able to import all of them. There's none of the card type match. There's no, they're not skipped because Anki can't tell that they're duplicates because these have brand new node IDs. Now it is, you're able to import them, but when you click browse, you'll notice this error here on some of these cards. And that's because there actually is a duplicate. I have a solution for that. Honestly, this doesn't really matter because the original block 10 deck is going to be suspended. So as long as you just never unsuspend those, just review these like normal. And then if you want this to go away, you can just delete the pre-made previous classes, Jeremy's decks from your account, and then that'll go away. So just a small inconvenience. But that is it. There's no more import errors, and you are ready to spend all your day studying.